Come back. 75th birthday. Today is my 75th birthday. I turned my 75th birthday. It's an important milestone for my life. Given the circumstances of this terrible pandemic, we are not allowed to celebrate with our relatives or friends. I thought for a moment, and I came to the conclusion that it would be nice, you know, it would be nice, a good thing to do, to share some piece of my story with you in this video. I was born in South Italy, and my childhood did not smile to me at all. My beautiful mother died at the age of 30 years. It was a devastating loss for our family. You have to imagine that she left 3 children. My brother, who was 6, my sister, just 6 months, and me, 4.5. Doctors failed to make a correct diagnosis. My mother had an acute appendicitis. A couple of years later, my father got married with his sister-in-law. She looked after us with love. My father worked as a health worker at a sanatorium. My grandmother lived with us. And after my mom death, she was devastated by this terrible loss. She was suffering many diseases. Every week, I still remember, we used to go to the cemetery praying and crying on my mom's grave. My grandmother wore black clothes for many years, and she mourned a daughter every day. She couldn't hold a pain and sorrow any longer. And she had an heart attack and died. She was just 54. To cut this part of this story short, I have to say that our trouble continued. And out of the blue, my father was hospitalized because the doctor said his liver was seriously damaged. He was seriously suffering. He went under major surgery, but after a week he died. The reason was an upward cirrhosis of his liver. It was another unbearable tragedy that happened to our family. He was just 49. A year later, I finished my high school and I got my diploma. In that period, in my city, it was very difficult to find a job. Luckily, I won a scholarship in Naples, and I had a chance to attend 2 years specialization course. At the end, I got my workshop engineering diploma. Despite on the final exam, I got the first place in the ranking class. I couldn't get the job there because of my left-wing political ideas. But I did not give it up. I decided to move to Milan and look for a job. My aunt gave me 90,000 lira. I packed my luggage and I took a train bound for Milan. As soon as I arrived at Milan railway station, Central Railway Station, I found myself desperately alone. I was about to cry. I didn't know what to do, where to go, while I was walking along the platform. At the end of the platform, a tall man was standing, and he guessed that I was looking for an hotel accommodation. So he asked me, "Are you looking for an hotel accommodation?" "Yes, I am," I said. Sadly, he said that, "Don't worry, I'll take you in a private apartment where you can rent a camera." So we went a nearby street and arrived at the house of an elderly woman. She told me that, she could rent a camera, just paying, I had to pay 2,500 lira per day. At the very beginning, my father's former captain of the Alpini army, which was where my father served during the Second World War, he helped me to find a job in Milan. I was hired by a company in the electrical business. I was in charge to drawing electrical system using a technical pen named Rapidograph. It was not a good job, but it gave me a chance, the opportunity to earn 70,000 lira per month. Luckily, after 3 months, my aunt sent me an electric, sorry, a register letter, which contained an Alfa Romeo answer of my previous apply for a job. Suddenly, I called on the phone, and in a couple of days, I went for a first interview with an HR employee. A week later, I had another interview with a technical manager. The interview went well, and I was able to, this manager asked me so many questions, and I was able to give a correct answer to many of them. So Alfa Romeo decided to hire me. I was thrilled and very, very happy. My salary would be 100,000 lira per month. In 1977, I married a wonderful woman. We started to travel a lot. We've been 5 times, just to give you an example, 5 times in the United States, and we had our first trip in 1982, and we had a chance to meet after 20 years our beloved relatives, Uncle Orlando and Aunt Maria. We stayed there for 1 month. They migrated in the United States in 1963. After a few years, I attended a COBOL programmer course in Alfa Romeo plant in Milan. At the end, I went to work for the information technology department, where I had the opportunity to start my successful career. I worked on an important project which was supposed to manage the production process. At the end of this unforgettable experience, my managing director gave me a promotion, and I went to work on the software development department as head of this office. When Fiat bought Alfa Romeo, I went to work for a few months in Turin, but just a month later, after 20 years, I resigned because I was hired by a small software house. I worked for a few years on a big material handling system project for the Italian railway company. I traveled a lot. I worked so hard. At the age of 42, I was promoted manager and with an important increase of my salary. But once again, I resigned and went to work on another company, for another company, which had its headquarters in Turin. After 7 years, I had the last chance of my professional career, and I went to work for one of the big five consultants firm, Deloitte Consulting, where I had the opportunity to work with colleagues coming from all around the world, particularly American colleagues. I had the possibility to work on different IT projects like SAP and CRM, Customer Relationship Management. I retired on 2003, and since then I've been teaching English as a volunteer at Uni3 School in Milan. This is a very, very short part of my story. And I have to, in conclusion, to say that I'm so proud of myself. And I thought that this was the best way to celebrate my 75th birthday. Thank you for watching. See you next time.